Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eddie Marcus once again. Today I want to speak on the subject matter, I am a man. I remember looking over some material once, and it referred back to the time of the 60s when black people were going through a lot of efforts to make a difference in their lives here in this wonderful so-called America. And they were being so persecuted, beaten up, eaten up by dogs and guns and bullets, and they still stood up, died, and they would sometimes walk around with a sign in their protest. And on that sign says, I am a man, putting it up on paper. Wonder what it meant to those men in their heart to say that they were men and the actions that they were taking represented men. There have been a lot of things that's going around in this country, but it's one thing that I don't want to disregard, and that is Donald Trump. Donald Trump has been a magnet. He's one heck of a fool. But in his foolishness, he has shown me, I don't know about the rest of the world, who we really are. And when I see Donald Trump, I see him as a blind fool. He has stood before America, and he would tell you a lie and then turn around and switch around like he didn't lie. And he would take everything ugly that he has done and try to speak it into it as being good. And you know what? He's done that for quite almost a year now. Or is it almost a year? And he's still in the White House, talking about President of the United States, about to start a war that could possibly cause millions of people to lose their lives. And we as Americans are just sitting around talking about we're doing investigations and sitting up there and watching that joker lie. If that had been a black man before you let him tell, if Barack Obama had tried that, he'd been dead. But Barack Obama wouldn't try that because Barack Obama was programmed to do exactly what he's doing, or what he did, should I say. And there are people who love him for it, and there are people who hate him. Those people who weren't really affected any more by what Barack Obama did than what they were about George Bush, they accepted it as well, just another show. And so the show goes on. But I experienced something yesterday that made me realize what was truly going on. And I'd rather be a man and stand alone than to stand with the rest of the country. You see, Donald Trump stood up again before the world. We know how black people are treated. We know how they were treated in Haiti when the flood came. We see how they're being treated down in Puerto Rico. We see how Donald Trump has spoken against all people who seem to have some melanin in their skin. And you know what? It's going right along. Now, there are a lot of people talking against Donald Trump. They're trying to expose that Donald Trump is no good. But I ask this, to what end are they attacking Donald Trump? The truth of the matter is that what was going on before Donald Trump is still going on. And based upon all these people who are attacking Donald Trump, they allowed it to go on before Donald Trump came in to black people or people with melanin. And no doubt they will allow it to happen when he's out. But here's what I saw. This man stood up before the world, especially this nation, and said black people, it was implied, perhaps not by Donald Trump, but by others, that black men fought in mostly every war that this nation has been in, that they've given their lives for this country, that they've been very instrumental in the foundation of creating and building a nation that has been considered as the greatest nation on the face of the earth. These men, black men, working along with others. And they got a flag that represents all of their efforts. I think the flag represents, they say it represents freedom and all of the wonderful things that you can attach to it. What I see also along with that as the other side of it as being a symbol of hate, a symbol of evil, a symbol of division. And it can be proven in the statements when Donald Trump stands up before the world and say, when black people who have given their lives, who have died for this country, a country who has a flag that represents the rights of people who to not settle for oppression, a flag that says they got the right to stand up and protest, to speak about what their interests and their concerns are, if to protest evil, to protest hate, to protest the killing of innocent people around the world, to protest a system that needs to be changed. That's what they want the world to think that the flag represents. And so these black men who recognize that all around the country, black men are being slaughtered by police, just killed for no reason except you black. And these police go into court and they are exonerated, say they were justified. And a certain group of people say it doesn't make sense, we're not going to stand for it anymore, we're going to, that flag is, whatever you're talking about being honored, that's more important than me. We're going to bend a knee. And Donald Trump sets up and says, anybody that bends a knee, the flag says, if you need to bend a knee, at least that's what they want you to think. If you need to bend a knee, this flag, based upon what it represents, gives you the right to bend a knee. It gave those in Charlottesville, those Nazis and all of those hate that came out with those little lamps, gave them the right to come out there and symbolize all this hate. And he said nothing against it, really. And when he voiced something, we know that was a lie. He loved it. Why? Because that's what he does. He stood before the world and says, fire these people. Fire them. They have no right to stand against this flag. And he got people in the football stadiums cheering, he's right. Get up off that ground. We don't care if we do kill you in the streets. We don't care if you are not human. This flag does not represent you. This flag represents us. And when they say us, they're talking about white people. You don't matter. We can do anything we want to you. And Donald Trump, that was implied by Donald Trump. That was implied by white racists all over this country. White racists right now in the Justice Department. You got the 9 justices. A couple of them, I don't know which ones they are so filled with hate it's pathetic. Every last one of them got some hate in them. But a couple of them got hate, so much hate it's a crying shame. And I can guarantee you that last guy that came into there, he got into there because they were convinced that when the issues come down to that which is important, that determines the rights of men, this guy would always go with the rights of white men. Forget about the rest of you. And for these people to sit up and argue all across the country, Charlottesville, black people being killed, accepted, Charlottesville, but black people protesting is a no-no. And so, ladies and gentlemen, this is what I see. This is what I see after all of these years. I'm an old man now. I've witnessed this stuff all my life. But for the past 40 years, I stood up against it. And what I have recognized in 40 years as reflected in the evidence of yesterday, and that I'll keep to myself, but reflected in it, was that people don't give a damn about what's going on. All they care about is themselves, and the hell with everybody else. So, to me, not just, this world is hell. I've heard said that before. I've said it before. And how do I know that? Because I know that there was a power not had nothing to do with human beings, except an inheritance. Had anything to do with the creation of this world. It was another power. I call it an unseen power. I call it God. Some people might say it's aliens. Some people might say it's somebody from riding around a spaceship. I don't know what they call it. I call it God. And I see human beings. I'm one. Yeah, I know my mom and dad and somebody got together and worked up a process that that same power had developed that would allow me and all of you to come into this world. And it has happened. And as creator of us, this power that we can't see is really our parent. I recognize it as our parent. And since we had nothing to do with all of this beautiful, wonderful resources of this world, I believe that is an inheritance from our Creator. Gave it to us so that we can be able to express ourselves based upon what our ambitions are, that we might be able to develop and live as God's true children on earth. God's true children on earth. And then I look at the church, and it seems as if the church has been a tool set up by the powers that be, wherever they are, to support their ideas, whether it's here in America, whether it's in China, whether it's in Russia, wherever it is, even in countries where people feel with melon, wherever they are. So what am I saying? I'm saying it seems that every religious institution that I have heard of, and I'll just be specific, Christianity and Islam. If you ask me, they're from the pit of hell. Now, in each book, there's truth. You can't separate truth anymore from that. You know, that coin I talked about the other day has two sides. One side, in this regard, represents truth. The other side represents a lie. And the only way you can see truth is if you're filled with the Spirit of the Lord. And if you don't see truth, you can go along with everything that's going on in America and everything that's going on in the world. I don't care what side of the mouth you're speaking on. You can be speaking for white people or you can be speaking for black people. It doesn't make any difference. If that's what you see, you are just a part of this world. A part of this world, and God is just a tool that you want to use to justify whatever you think. But the reality of it is, if there's not peace for everybody, if there's not prosperity for everybody, if there's not joy for everybody, then it should not exist. But the fact that some people try to say, justify it, leaving out a whole group of people, I tell you that's fake. We talk about fake news. That's fake love. That's fake relationship with God. Nobody on the face of the earth should put up with anything other than what the Creator has designed. And in case you forgot it, everything on the face of the earth, everything that's ever created belongs to God. And yes, God gave us a way to have choice, to choose whether we want to, what side of the coin we want to be on. The thing about it is, ladies and gentlemen, to be on the right side of the coin means that we're living in paradise or we're finna get killed. Everything else is a bunch of junk. Ladies and gentlemen, I know you think your hearts are right. I know you think you're kind, and it's the other people that's no good. You know the rules of life. You know the Bible. You know the truth, and it's the other people that's wrong. I know that's what you believe. But the fact is, all of us who are alive are wrong. All of us who are alive are blind. All of us who are alive is an agent of evil with a potential of doing good. But you got to be, on a male side, to do that, you got to be a man. You think Donald Trump is a man? Donald Trump is a fool. And I say that, and I hope you don't like it, Donald Trump. You see this black man with this white hair right here? I need you to kill me. I need you to kill me. Why? Because I don't want to live in your hell. You can have all of this. And everybody else on the face of the earth who thinks this is so fantastic, you can have all of this. My children and my family, this message that I deliver to the world, I also deliver this message to you, because you're not separate from the conditions that I've just mentioned. I have not been separate. We are all a part of that. And each of us have to grow out of that. And it's not a team effort. It's an individual effort. You grow out of it, and the rest of the world grow out of it on their time. But don't get mad. No, we're all in this. But a man separates himself from the bull, even if he has to stand alone. And for those of you who talk about Jesus Christ died on the cross for you, that's the biggest lie since somebody told you they loved you. Jesus Christ, for those people who believe that he ever lived, he lived for a while. And then he became a man. He stepped on the other side. He decided not to heal anyone else, not to open any more eyes, not to cause any more crippled legs to straight, not to cause any more dead to rise. He stepped on the other side and became a man and say, you do it. You connect with God and you do it. And that's what every man living in the world, Russia, China, here, wherever they're at, must say it one day. And until you can step on the other side, you just a part of the problem with potentially an asset for a solution. The choice is yours. I've made mine. I am a man. Goodbye.